Dear friends, a young college graduate, Emily Griffin, wrote a book called Turning. In that book, she describes how she graduated from college, doubting the existence of God and thinking that religion was a crutch that people used for support. But Emily also graduated with a deep love for nature, and it was this love of nature that enabled her to rethink on the ideas of God. Emily tried to read everything she could find on God and religion, especially the books written by C.S. Lewis and Thomas Merton, because they too had to struggle with some of these questions about the nature of God. After much study and discussion, Emily eventually decided to become a Catholic. Emily is a living example of what Jesus is telling us in today's gospel when he says that the door to God's kingdom is very narrow. It is not narrow because God has made it that way, that only some skinny people can enter through it. It is narrow because we have made it that way by our own actions. We all want to enter God's kingdom, but at times we find ourselves being burdened or bundled with the material concerns, and we cannot get through the door. It is not just our material possessions and worldly affairs that keep us from entering through the narrow gate. Sometimes it is a fear of what others might say or think about our faith, even about us being Catholics. For instance, there is a famous movie called Love Letters from Iwo Jima. You may have seen, at least the older generation, that movie. In that movie, we can see one of the most iconic, famous photographs taken during the World War II. It shows 4 Marines planting the American flag on the island of Iwo Jima in the Pacific Ocean. The photographer who took this picture had to risk his life. He had to cross minefields and face machine gunfire to record it. His name is Joe Rosenthal. Joe was not a stranger to courage or challenges in his life. He was, in fact, a Jew who was convinced that Jesus was not only the promised Messiah, but he is the very true Son of God. And thus, Joe decided to become a Catholic, and his family and friends fought it. They thought that he was making a serious mistake. But to do what he was thinking, what is right, Joe had to go against the family's wishes. However, he loved them deeply, yet Joe had to follow his own conscience and conviction. When the newspapers and magazines publish across the country Joe's prize-winning picture, everyone wanted to know more about the person who took this famous photograph. So Joe decided to give an interview. He told the reporters, "The day before we went ashore on Iwo Jima, I attended Mass and received the Holy Communion." And then he spoke about his own conversion to Catholicism. He said, if a man is genuinely convinced he has the truth and still neglects it, he is a traitor. And that goes not only for my Jewish friends who fail to attend the synagogue every Saturday, and also for my Catholic friends who miss Mass on Sundays. Dear friends, the story of Joe illustrates the point that Jesus makes in the gospel. Joe did not begin his life as a follower of Christ, as many of us did, maybe even calling ourselves as cradle Catholics. But Joe's personal discovery of Jesus and his dedication to follow the Lord put him ahead of many people who were only nominal Catholics or who were born in a Catholic family but didn't practice their faith. As a result, many people who begin last, like Emily and Joe, would end up first. And many of us who began first may end up last. The message of Jesus today challenges us to ask this question: how willing are we to do whatever is necessary to shed the extra burdens to pass through that narrow gate? The door is always open and it is wide enough to pass through it, but only for those who consider and value Jesus most important above everything else in their life. The narrow gate concerns about our everyday living, our relationship with God and with other people. So, entering into God's kingdom is not something automatic. It is not taken for granted. To enter the narrow gate, which is Jesus himself, involves being the blessed people of God, that is, the poor, the peacemakers, and those persecuted for their faith. And it involves doing good deeds for the right reasons, and it involves pursuing God's kingdom and justice instead of going after worldly powers, fortune, and fame. Further, it involves our faith and obedience to God's ways. I like to end with a quote from Dr. Dietrich Bonhoeffer. He was a German theologian, and he wrote a famous book called The Cost of Discipleship. In that book, he distinguishes between cheap grace and costly grace. He writes about the cheap grace. Cheap grace seeks all the consolations of the faith without real commitment or conversion. Let me say that again. Cheap grace seeks all the consolations of faith without real commitment or conversion.